AllStar Izzy in the building. Go ahead and hit that notification button and subscribe to your boy. We on the road to the top. Now let's dive directly into this because as you see, this is an AllStar movie review and we're going to be breakdown and we're going to be solving a couple mysteries and puzzling some pieces together. And movies like this is what I enjoy. I love discovering stuff and being a small detective in my own world. And I know a lot of you guys do too. So before we even get ahead and I start to nerd out and geek out and give out some lessons for y'all, because of course some things did point out for me to give into this moment. But there are spoilers ahead, so please keep in mind about what's about to happen and don't put yourself in a position unless you are ready for this shit. There's so much unanswered questions in this movie that I have to decipher, and hopefully you guys can comment below and help me decipher this whole thing, because this is what brings everybody together, especially with movies like this. Now, boom, let's get into it, because the reason why I gave it a little bit 8.0 and not any higher is because I did find the ending a bit underwhelming. And the reason is because of the beginning of Stephanie's premonition when she hit the rose, which is a callback from, I believe, from the fifth one, and also from when Iris did it. And I'm sure there had to be some other way where there was a picker into the finger. But I did find it underwhelming just the way it ended. People were saying it's the premonition or it's their confirmed death. I did stay to the end credits. I did see the newspaper. It was cut off passages saying there was no help, and it showed them two there talking about a train wreck. But was it a premonition, or were they some heroes of the time, and are they going to continue it in the next one, and will they be mentioned somehow? Some people have mixed opinions, mixed reviews, but I think it will be a continuation of the next film. If anything, if she's still not an actual character, they will mention it somehow, because one thing that I found interesting about this is that I believe that it's more than one Visionaries exist at one time. Obviously, somehow it's true. But one thing Final Destination shows us a lot is how there's always that one main character that's a visionary. But they did confirm Kimberly is alive. So she shows the premonition. Iris has a premonition, and later down the line, Stephanie ended up getting it, but she was a little bit more of a student of what's going on. She was able to decipher, just as in that lady was in Final Destination 2. I forgot her name, but she was saved in 1, but she died in Final Destination 2. But again, this is the things that we're bridging in together, because in the continuation of the next one, what I'm thinking is, what if they start to bring and bridge all the Visionaries in one setting? Not every single one, but in one setting. Or what if there's a group of people who are online or solving the mysteries themselves and interfere with death, and they come to a group to try to save other people, noticing that this is happening? Because I've been seeing a lot of people saying that nothing is connected, there's no references and shit like that, but this thing is connected. I often like to say everything is a constellation because everything is connected, but I believe that everything is connected somehow. Of course, they have probably a standalone, but it was confirmed that Kimberly's alive in the universe, which is canon, showing, and it showed why JB, aka Tony Todd, was in there. Rest in power, by the way. Great dialogue, is a great way. Enjoy your time, especially specifically when you're in this world, and that's another lesson we could talk about in the future. But that is why they show this reoccurring character, because he was there once that happened in the beginning, in the opening scene of Final Destination 6. So it'd be interesting if they brought in more than one. What if we seen 2 at the same time? I think that would be interesting to put that into the number 7. Now, another thing that I did put with Iris' death, because I seen a TikTok video that was talking a little bit about it, but what if Iris' death was actually Death's play all along to bring Stephanie there? Because Iris had to sacrifice herself basically for Iris to believe that this is true. You need to listen to what I'm saying and everything. What if that was all a part of the plan? That's just something I want to throw out there that I thought was interesting and wanted to talk about. Now, another thing that comes unanswered to me is, if they were all meant to die, right? It's Final Destination, of course, it's death. Death is inevitable to everybody and happening in the universe. Everybody dies, right? Somehow, but Kimberly's still alive. But the thing is, if it's final, and why are they just getting premonitions? Where did the premonitions come from? I seen someone speak on how, it could just be God giving it to them, and on death having their way too, and just be seeing them able to capture it, right? The thing is that if they're getting premonitions and they were having to prevent death, then there's something that's sending them a signal to what's really going on. And why is it specific people? And why is it targeting a certain person for them to have that first vision? And these are small things that we need answers to, and some things that I'm searching for myself, because I thought it was interesting to hear that, and I was like, you know what, that's very true, and to listen to it, because it's all connected and there's more than what we actually see. Now again, it could be its own standalone, but for me, I'm gonna dig for the truth regardless, and I'm sure that's why you're here. We're digging for the truth together. But another things and lessons that I did want to point out really quickly, of course, the first one is what Tony Todd was speaking, rest in power again. But the thing is, he said, enjoy time or while you have it, because you never know when it's it's your time. And I think that's just a beautiful callback to just bring it to life itself. And one thing that I often say is that forever is right now, and the moment that we have is forever. Of course, planning for the next future, but it's important for people to understand that you never know when it's that time. That doesn't mean that you gotta live chaotically or sporadically, but that just means enjoy the people that surround you, enjoy the family that's there, enjoy your life, cherish your life, get yourself health-wise, fitness-wise, and all of that. And it's a great way to see and have an outlook on your life and to just cherish this, because this is our life for what we have it for right now, and it's a great thing to see. And now the next one I wanted to put that stuck out to me is when Iris said, when the universe speaks, listen to it. Now, of course, this is in the point of their film and their universe, but I also wanted to bring it into our intention and our community, because there's a thing when I speak to you guys about following your instincts or going through it or following through it, listening to that voice that motivates you, that wants to pivot, that wants to see the new beginning and something like that. Now, we can look at signs, of course, outside of us, which we can see certain coincidences and things like that. But also, I believe that we all know internally what we need to be spoken to, guided on, and how to move ourselves forward. Whether that's not even your voice or you believe into a higher power in that sense, but there is a such thing as when there is something speaking to you that you need to follow that and listen to it. And I don't want you guys to be ignorant to when those signs happen, because this can also manifest in you feeling stuck materialistically when internally you need to make a certain pivot, because it's all about a mindset shift within to create more of your reality. Because most people get stuck in the loop of certain habits or patterns because they don't listen to what they need to do to pivot, because most people stay in a certain version of who they are and what they are, when they don't realize that because I do the same things, same times, I get the same results. And if I do the same different things or the same things, then I'm never going to get different results. And that's what they call insanity. So it's things that's learning like that you got to also listen to yourself when it speaks and pivot and know when to shift, right? And the next one that I wanted to point out was that trust your instincts and stop getting in your own way. One thing that Final Destination is notorious about is bringing those characters who don't want to listen, who like, man, I'm invincible, fuck death. When they say things like that. And the thing is that most of those people have either brutal, gruesome deaths, but also it just was a poetry up into life, because it shows you that when you get stuck in your way and you don't want to believe that there's things outside of you that are out of your control, that you can only control so much of what you have, is that you become ignorant, you get in your own way. And that can even be in a sense of your own growth. You're stunting your own growth, or you don't want to move outside of your own comfort zone. You're getting in your own way, and you need to trust your instincts. That's even to talk about when the universe speaks. Same different thing. Now, this is my take on Final Destination 6 for the Bloodlines. Again, comment below, nerd out with me, geek out with me. I want to be in the comments engaging with you guys, because I know there's so many unanswered questions in these things that are happening, because it is canon that Kimberly is alive. There's other visionaries that are out there. There could be other people that studying death too, because I think that would be dope as fuck for other people to study what death does, for them to help prevent certain things. But of course, just as it says in Final Destination, if you interfere, then it's that time for death to get you up out of here too. And we seen how Eric died and how he went out. So these are my couple things in my review. And it was a great movie. The plot was incredible. I like how they twisted everything together, made it into that one small one, and the deaths were awesome as hell. It was nice. I was with my fam. We was like, God damn, it's crazy. Some laughs and that shit was dope. And they had a little humorous banter in it. But that's my AllStar movie review. I do say that you go watch it, and of course read it in the chronological order, watch it in the chronological order from 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into Bloodlines, which is like its own universe but still in the same thing. That is my AllStar recommendation, and that is an AllStar approved message.